Hey guys, Bob from Gil Skillz. I just wanted to try this new live streaming again to see if this will work a little better this time. I bypassed the OBS software and I'm just working directly through YouTube. I just ask that you bear with me, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to throw them in the chat, okay? All right, so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Take a razor, and I usually start with that, and then and let's see if I can wedge that in there. Okay, perfect. And essentially you just kind of have to work your way around. And you have to reapply heat every once in a while as the adhesive re-adheres. Please let me know, guys, what the video quality is. If it's shifting around a lot or skipping or stuttering or whatever. It's important for me to know, because I don't want to keep doing this if, if the video quality isn't all that bad. My bandwidth in the area that I'm in, I kind of live in the middle of nowhere, isn't all that great. So I see 2 people viewing. That's pretty cool. Hello, guys. I hope you're having a great day thus far. That needs a little bit more heat. See. All right. So this back piece is essentially rubber, and it peels off. You want to be super, super careful as you're doing it, though, because there's this here has a wireless charging component in it, and it's basically wafer thin. And if you pull this up too quickly, that can come undone from the motherboard. You could essentially rip it right off. So you got to be super careful. All right, looks like we need some more heat. And there'll be a degree of cleanup once you remove this back cover too. There we go. Woo! All right, so we've got the back cover all taken care of and removed. So a little later on, this will actually need to be cleaned up and new adhesive will be used. go. Hey, Nate. How you doing, bud? How's the video quality, Nate? Can you tell me? Is it stuttering quite a bit? Can you see things clearly? The last time I tried to... Thank you. I'm good. I'm good. Doing really well. Thank you for asking. The last time I tried this, it looked like the system had crashed. I used a OBS software, and this time I'm just going straight through YouTube. So I'm hoping that the results are a little better. And the camera I'm using 720p, so hopefully it'll be somewhat of a decent quality. All right, so I'm going to strip all the extra adhesive off later. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use a star tool, a precision star tool, to remove all of these screws, and there's like 14 of them. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 14, 15, 16. All right, so I'm going to take these off. And I apologize again. I'm going to say this throughout this live stream that this could be long. It could be, I could be quiet at times because I'm focusing, and this is not the right size. Huh. Hey, Austin.
Hi.
My son just walked by. Oh, that's the right size. So I'm going to go ahead and start taking these out. So, yeah, normally I would fast forward through all this stuff. Like, you'd be looking at it at 4 or 8 times the normal speed because, you know, I consider this stuff the boring stuff. You guys know how to unscrew stuff. If you have any questions, Nate, don't hesitate to ask. Oops. Probably not going to have a great deal of turnout today because I didn't really announce that I was doing this in advance. So it looked like Recycle Dude had a marathon last night, a live marathon, and he was trying to gain an extra 15 subscribers to get to 800, and doesn't look like he made it. So if I can help out at all, if you want to go over to his channel's called Recycle Dude. Comment, and if you like his content enough, feel free to subscribe. So this here, just so everybody knows, this here with this copper spool and everything is wireless charging for the Droid Turbo 2, which is pretty cool. I find all this stuff very fascinating. So work on cell phones to begin with. I like to take things apart and see how they tick. And that's why we're going to work with screws this small. I always recommend having a magnetic tip tool. Whatever tool you're using, make sure it's magnetically tipped. Getting there, guys. A lot of screws. All right, so we get another one there. Uh-oh. Let's see. It's not good. Ooh, got lucky there. I think this phone's been worked on before. That screw is partially stripped. All right, let me just double check, make sure I didn't miss any screws. Everything looks good. All right. So basically at this point, the mid-frame is free floating. So we can very carefully and meticulously start to separate the mid-frame from the front of the phone. And the power button. You want to be really careful too, because the power button and the volume buttons could fall right out, like that one did. Did I get all the screws? Okay. And if you have trouble getting the mid-frame to separate, stop. Make sure that you got all the screws, because there's a whole lot of them. As you know, it was like 17. All right. Oh. Come on. Oh. I gotta get a subjection tool. Actually, there's one right there. All right. So you want to be careful. You don't want to pull it away, because there is I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a little ribbon that you need to separate from the back. Go. Okay. So we got that. Excuse me. So we've got that separated. I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. Welcome, guys. We'll have to take this light tape stuff and we'll have to peel it back a tad, because in the end game we'll need to actually remove this little support bar. We'll need to disassemble, not disassemble, but disassemble the ribbons from the LCDs, and we'll need to remove the motherboard and the battery. So let me go ahead and get started on that. Let's see. Let's see. Okay.